you doing?
It's nice and sunny here.
Welcome to Talking with Tom. I'm Tom Dacey alongside Ed McCarver. Hello, Edward.
Hello, Tommy. Alongside virtually speaking, as we start 2021 the way we left 2020 via Zoom. But it's nice to be back here on the Zoom screen as we launch into year 2021 here.
And we have a special night tonight. Can you believe it's been 27 years for Talking with Tom?
27. Wow. That's a generation and almost a decade.
It started long before I was born. You too, right, Eric? Long before you were born.
Of course.
I'm 81, so yeah, long time.
Of course, we have a couple of dear friends joining us at this time. I want to start out, if I can, with our dear friend, John Seville. Welcome, John.
Well, good to be here, Tommy. We go way back, brother.
Yeah, you were on the show with us a couple of times.
Yeah, last time we were able to work out the video, which really worked out well for the audience, but this time they can see us.
But actually, in our studio days, you made a couple of appearances. One I remember most fondly was with a dear friend of ours, Shane Michael Taylor.
Yeah, Shane Michael Taylor, great singer-songwriter from Nashville, and also Tina Taylor.
Yes.
Yes.
Great Tina Taylor was there as well.
Yeah. You want to talk about Shane a little bit, John, and how you got hooked in with him?
Well, basically, he's a gentleman, is a songwriter, and as you know, he's in a wheelchair, but he doesn't let that get in the way. There are no such thing as obstacles, only opportunities, and they make us stronger, and that's the way he lives his life. And he goes out there, and he's very, very active. It's been tough with COVID, obviously, but the guy has just taken what some might see as a challenge and turned it into some amazing inspirational stories. He's written music. He communicates, obviously, through others. And as a matter of fact, I was the voice of his Books on Tape.
That was a great book, by the way.
Oh, yeah, great book. He asked me to be the Books on Tape. And he said that I was the first DJ he heard on the radio back in '94 when I played Garth Brooks. And he became a country music fan at that time and reached out to me, wanted me to be a guest. Whenever we do TV appearances, I would always be his voice on Channel 3 or Channel 8, wherever we would do it. And to this day, we're really close friends. So I consider it an honor and privilege. He inspires me daily.
Absolutely, as he does to me also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we did a couple of interviews with Shane Michael Taylor during our NHTV days, Tommy, and I remember the young man is an inspiration. So
he just goes to show that, Eddie, just goes to show that we have no real big challenges. I mean, you look at him, and we get up each and every day. We might have a hangnail or something, and we complain about that. Human nature. But this guy really shows us what can be done.
Yeah, I agree.
Most definitely. And John, as everyone knows, you are on iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about what you're doing currently. I know you wear many hats.
No hat tonight, but no, I mean, iHeartRadio, been in the radio biz for a long, long time, and work at multiple stations right now out of Hartford. Country, classic hits, top 40. I'm going to be doing a couple internet radio shows shortly. Working on a podcast that's going to be debuting in mid-February, Coffee with the Caddy Man. And just finished up. Yeah, I know. And we just finished building a studio in the basement. And it's like the old adage, if you build it, they will come. And that's kind of like a motto from one of my favorite movies of all time, Field of Dreams. So Patty and I are going to be doing a lot of work down there, podcast, a lot of voiceover work, books on tape, answering machine messages, corporate things, all from downstairs. And we're going to call it the Blessing Room, because I want everything to come out of there to be a blessing for the community, but it's always going to be positive, bring people together, and the message is always going to be that way.
At least you'll have a shorter commute for your radio shows, huh?
Yeah, 14 steps down the staircase, take a hard right into the cubicle, and baby, we're in business.
Be sure and put on that Fitbit, John, before you do that.
Absolutely.
Steps.
Absolutely.
Coffee with the Caddy Man. Will that be a music show or more of a talk show?
No, it's basically, we have about 75 to 100 guests already lined up.
Oh, nice.
And everybody I've talked to wants to be on it. And we just want to make it a human interest show. So you may know somebody in the community, but but kind of like peeling the onion, getting to know that person,
Okay.
what they're all about. So people in the community may know that person, but it's like, what about you would the average person not know? What hidden talent do you have? And just kind of get that business owner, not just as business owner, but a little bit more about their personality, where they came from, what it took to get to where they are. People love those human interest stories about how you overcame
Yeah.
obstacles
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
to get where you are. And everybody has a story. I don't care who you are. Everybody on the street has a story. And with a podcast format, we're not under the commercial constraints of radio or internet. We can do our own thing for a half hour, an hour, let it happen organically, see what sprouts, and just make it interesting for the audience.
Nice.
I'm looking
Sounds
forward
good.
to it.
Yeah, it's
This
gonna
will
be a
start in
blast.
mid-February? In mid-February, you
that's
said,
the
John?
that's the target date right now. Everything's been coming together so wonderfully. That's why I knew it was the right idea, the right time. Everybody seems to be in the right place at the right time. I love delegating, just getting the best people, letting them loose, letting them do their job, and just put them to work. And it's amazing how people just want to help. Everybody wants to be a part of a project that's going to be exciting, something like this.
Very nice. Very nice. We look forward to it.
Me too.
I see our former directors waiting in the wings over there. So
I was
if we
hoping you
can,
weren't going to ask me any questions. I'm just sipping my drink over here.
so
Happy
Eric,
Friday.
Eric, what's been going on with you? Are you you're still in lockdown in California, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't leave the house anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, it's pretty serious, and I'm trying to go to Hawaii in 2 weeks for my 40th, and I don't know. It's kind of risque trying to jump on a plane at LAX, but you know, yeah, it's kind of scary. I mean, we're not going back to the office. Luckily, I've had a job the whole time working from home. With this really cool mirroring system that taps into our computers at the office. So I'm able to basically edit in my underwear.
There's a
good
visual.
thing.
Yeah. And I did just see, doing some quick research, did you just finish a music video with Dee Dee Ramone, Eric? So you have.
Oh no,
it?
Dee Dee's passed away many years ago.
Oh, I thought I
Yeah.
saw that you,
The
I'm
gen-
sorry.
The gentleman's from Sweden, and he's been in a couple of big popular alternative bands. One was known as Against Me. They were on the radio mid, 2015-ish. But yeah, he was in town in LA, and Dee Dee Ramone is buried at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which is like where a lot of celebrities are buried. Toto from Wizard of Oz is buried there, the dog.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Chris Cornell from Soundgarden was just buried
Yeah.
there next to Johnny Ramone. So the song is about Dee Dee Ramone, and during the video, we went down to Hollywood Forever and shot in front of his gravestone. But yeah, that
Now
was the
you
new
are
one.
beginning, I was gonna say, you are beginning year number 8 with Life Below Zero.
Yeah, this February I would have been on the show for 8 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Tell us if you would quickly how that evolved. I know you relocated from the East Coast to the West Coast, and
Well,
tell us how Life Below Zero started.
Well, my good friend that you guys have known and met, Mike DiMatteo, Mike D,
Yeah.
who worked on our Burial Boys film, he had sold a television show to National Geographic called American Chainsaw. It was about a chainsaw artist. So if you had a tree that it was like in your, it's been there forever, you grew up there, the tree needs to go, and you don't want to get rid of it. This guy was like, he looked like a wrestler. He's called the Machine, Jesse Green, and he would go and chainsaw it into something. I don't know, like a squirrel or a cat or a dog or whatever. And that was the premise of the show. So when Mike D sold that, he's like, come with me to Boston. You can live on the couch, and I'll hire you as a production assistant because you love LA, Eric, and you'll meet producers from Los Angeles. So we were on the road together around Massachusetts, Boston for 35 days. And we all, after 35 days of not seeing your family, this had become the new family, these production people. So I met some connections in LA. And then, I finally left Connecticut, moved to LA. I was out here for about 2 months, partying, meeting new friends, having a great time. And then I looked at my bank account and there was $200 left. And I'm like, what am I I don't even have a job yet. It's almost 2 months. And I was at a stoplight on Melrose. And all of a sudden, one of the guys from Boston is like window shopping on the sidewalk. He's walking down the street, and I'm literally at a red light rolling down my window because my car sucked. Like you actually have to roll it down, and yelled to him and shouted to him. And he recognized me, and he saw on Facebook that I moved and questioned why I didn't call him. And I'm like, oh my God, I should have called him. And as the light was turning green, he said, hey, I got this new show coming out. Takes place in Alaska. You looking for a job? And I said, yes. And then the light turned green, and he said he would call me. And 2 days later, he called me, and I've been on the show ever since. All because of a stoplight.
Awesome.
Wow.
And I started, I didn't have the LA credentials as an editor. So I was still delivering lunches, coffee, gear runs, all that kind of stuff. And little by little, after like maybe a year and a half, 2 years, they started giving me editor work because I kind of like got grandfathered in. And after a few more years, won the Emmy and 3 other nominations after that. So
Nice.
Cinderella story over here.
Making us proud, Eric.
Yeah, and still doing music videos and documentaries and just never stopping. I mean,
Life below zero. No wonder he wants to go to Hawaii in 2 weeks.
just want to get out of here. I mean, I'm going to be 40. It's a big one. And I've seen 49 states. And because the TV show allowed me to go to Alaska. So all that was left is Hawaii. And I just really wanted to go for the 40th.
Well, hope you can do it.
Well,
Man, talking about being at the right place at the right time, though, at a stoplight. The guy from
really.
Boston. Yeah,
literally at a stoplight. It was,
that's amazing.
and I figured, oh, that's just LA talk. Like he ain't going to call me. And sure enough, he's been kind of like a mentor to help me through the process. Cause he went through the same process. Cause he's from Texas. So he didn't grow up here in LA. So he did the same thing, moving out, being a production assistant, getting, producers yelling at you, coffee needs to like go back to the coffee shop and get him another coffee because this one's not good enough. So I dealt with all that stuff, but it's what it takes to meet these people. And, I'll tell you one thing. I never passed out a business card because I thought that was lame. I don't like when people give them to me. I'm like, I need to know the person. Everyone has a story. So tell me your story. And then I'll get an idea and profile who you are. And, we'll get to know each other. So what I used to do is when I was a production assistant, I used to bring them their lunches or their coffees and I'd be like, good morning, party. Here you go. I would say party every time. Like I was like basically bringing Wayne's World back. Here's your chicken salad sandwich, party. Here's your tuna salad sandwich, party. And they would go, one time one of the editors who's like a big deal at the office stopped me. He goes, why do you say party all the time? I'm curious. I go, because now you're talking to me. And he was like, oh, smart. Because I gave him a little flair for them to like kind of, that's the guy that says party. He's cool. Who doesn't like a party?
Yeah.
Now,
So that was like one of my
I-
ways going to LA. I was like, I knew I have to like compete with the rest. So I'm going to do something totally different.
Well, I remember the interview we did, and we had you on back in June. And I remember you said it a different way, but we asked, what is the best advice? And you just said, be a nice person to everybody. I think you said, don't be a blank, but it's, and
Don't
you're
be a
living
Tom
proof
Daisy.
that-
Don't be a Tom Daisy.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Don't be a Daisy head.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah,
a
you
lot.
have to, and because you never know who's going to be the boss. You might meet someone out and about, and man, that guy's a total Daisy head. And then you find out, oh man, he's the employer. So you got to be nice. And I've seen a lot of Daisy head producers who are just kind of really mean. I'm like, fudge that Daisy head.
Yeah, the whole key, Eric, is treat everybody like they're a gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a gatekeeper to something, but it's just be good to people. We say that all the time, and that's why I say at the end of my radio show all the time, just be good to people. It doesn't cost anything. It's the right thing to do. It's not you're trying to get something from people. Be good to people, even the people you think can do nothing for you.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. And I learned that from Garth Brooks when I emceed a show at the New Haven Coliseum back in the day in '94. This guy was one of the biggest stars in the universe at the time. And we were all having pizza with him in the back. And he said, hey, John, you want some pizza? And I said, listen, you got to go up on stage in about 5 or 10 minutes. So that's okay. They'll wait for me. And as he was going up the stairs, he saw the custodian in the back. He said, by the way, sir, if you'd like to have some pizza, you're more than welcome as well.
Oh,
And I never forgot.
Nice.
he treated everybody with such respect, and he called them sir.
Nice.
And I learned that a long time ago. Just be good to people. Everybody, nobody is better than anybody else. I don't care what whether you're a CEO or a custodian, we're all God's children.
Yeah.
So just be good to people.
When I got hired up as editor, I was always like super kind to the PAs because I know what they're going through.
Right, yep.
They're the first ones to get there and the last ones to go home. And I'm like, if they messed up my order, I was like, it's all right. You don't have to go back. You don't want to stress you out. And then the same thing that my boss did for me. There's somebody from Hamden that moved out here. That was like friends with my younger brothers, but not necessarily my friend, but I knew who he was. And I paid it forward the same way, where he's not a daisy head. He's actually pretty nice. And then he's a composer. He showed me his music. And now he has a job doing music for our show. And he was just so nice. And I also felt like always pay it forward too, just because you got up here when you were down here. Help somebody else along the way too, if they're not a daisy head.
Good for you, Eric. Good for you.
Yeah.
Eric, you got time for one more question from me?
I'm not going anywhere. This is an hour show.
I know you were very successful with Life Below Zero, but talk a little bit about Zulu Summer, that documentary, which I had a chance to see last summer, and I loved it. Just talk about the premise.
John doesn't know anything about it, so this is what I always say when I tell people about the movie. Have you seen Coming to America?
Yes.
Well, we made the real one, except the prince doesn't go to New York. He goes to Butte, Montana. And it's real. It's not actors. It's real. So we heard, I run a company with my boss from Life Below Zero. It's aside from National Geographic, but it's called Interesting Human Media because everyone has a story. So we try to find these interesting people to tell a real story. I mean, everyone's got a story, but you need a story that has an arc. So there's a beginning, middle, and end. Those are hard to find because you could be filming someone forever and, they don't get their big break or they don't win $1 million or whatever. But this was happening over the course of a summer where a Zulu prince had a radio station in Nangoma, South Africa. He still does. And these guys are like 27. They're young kids. They're fun to hang out with. And the prince wanted to have like a cultural exchange with America. So it's weird there with their internet. Sometimes it works during the day and then it doesn't work anymore. Or they have to pay more to get more internet, whatever, Wi-Fi. I don't know. I don't really understand it. But he got on the internet and started Google other radio stations. This small lo-fi, like it only plays in the town and on the internet. Their tagline is KBMF 102.9, America's Most Radio. So the Zulu Prince sees America's Most Radio. I need to talk to these people because they're the most in America. That's just a tagline. He doesn't know. So he hits up the DJ. His name's Dark Sevier. He used to live here too. He was he was on Saved by the Bell. He was a stand-up comedian, but then he got tired of the Hollywood life, so he just went to Montana just to like escape and not be around so many people that are fake here and just live a better life in a small town. So he started getting these emails, and it's just like all of us have gotten those emails like, I'm a Zulu prince from Nangoma, and then when you're waiting for them to ask you for your credit card number. So Dark kept trying to writing these weird emails and telling him what's happening in the US, like making up total lies, like about weird cults and stuff like that, just to be a daisy head. And the prince said, the DJ said, well, if you come, I'll set you up with somewhere to stay. And they said, we're coming. So no one knew if this was true or not. I flew out to Montana. I had the cameras ready. And sure enough, these 3 young men from Nangoma, South Africa, come off the plane with their shields and their staffs.
Wow.
And they spent an entire summer in Butte, Montana. So the film is called Zulu Summer. It took place, I think it was 2000, maybe summer of 17. And it was just them hanging out in Butte, Montana. They didn't go anywhere else but Butte, Montana. And just asking, I don't care what anyone's political opinion is, but they're asking, I don't understand who would vote for Trump. Why did you people vote for him? Like they were asking all these big questions, and it was almost like taking a look at ourselves. And like they felt that discrimination didn't exist, but it's only in this little small town where, like, if they landed anywhere else, say Los Angeles or New York, no one would care because there's always people coming and going in these big cities. They're so fortunate to land in this small town of like 32,000 people that the town took them in, and they were like rock stars in the town. Like, I would be with them the whole time. I felt like I was, what was the name of the manager of the Beatles?
Was it Epstein?
Passed away.
Brian Epstein?
Yeah, I felt like I was Epstein and they were the Beatles because I was running them around town, jumping in and out of cars, going here because they had a whole agenda. The town set them up with all these things to go speak to the children. We went and hung out with Bernie Sanders for an afternoon. Like, it was really intense. And every time I watch the film, which is on Amazon Prime right now, I cry. Because for me, I'm behind the camera the whole time. To me, it's not a movie. To me, it was like, that's like when you go on family vacation and, you know, dad has the camera rolling. So I have all these memories when I see that movie. Like, it felt like a family vacation video.
It's a delightful film, John. It's just delightful. When they went to, was it Evel Knievel days? They went
yeah,
to?
so Evel Knievel is from Butte, Montana. They stopped doing this, and probably for good reason, because too many people got hurt. They shut down the whole uptown of the city. You know how we have downtowns? They have uptowns. So it's almost like Wallingford, where like Archie Moore's is. That's like their uptown area. That's the big city spot.
Top of a hill.
And they shut down like 5 blocks, and it's just stunts and motorcycles and people lighting themselves on fire and people jumping off buildings. It's Evel Knievel days, and everyone's just drinking on the street. So I never seen anything like that. And now you have these Zulus next to me, and we're all going, what is this? And it was just one of the most amazing things to witness, Evel Knievel Day. And I got to hang out.
Sorry about that. I don't mean to.
John's gonna jump off.
I've got to jump off. But Eric, really nice meeting you through Zoom. And when I get my coffee with the Caddy Man going, I'd really love to have you as a guest because you have an amazing story.
Oh, I got more.
I'll save them for coffee with the Caddy Man. All right?
John, before you jump off.
Change my number, Tom.
John, before you jump off, I just want to thank you for all your support through the years with the show.
And that will continue, Tom. And thanks for the honor and privilege. And Ed, thank you for all you do in the community as well as Tom Daceyhead.
We have a new name for Tom going in.
Daceyhead.
And definitely give Eric my information. I will keep this conversation.
I will.
Okay. God bless everybody.
Care, John.
Have a great night.
Right. Thank you, John.
Party, sir. Now what do we do?
That John Seville, who's a legend. A legend in.
We have somebody here.
Does he live in Wallingford or San Francisco?
No,
actually,
in Guilford.
I think.
Guilford.
Yeah.
I'll give you his information, Eric.
Why don't you give him my information?
All right, either or.
Because again, I don't like business cards. Like, just call me and like have a phone conversation. That's the best way to like get me intrigued and want to talk.
I just want to ask you. I know you mentioned Burial Boys, and I want to thank you for that. Really, start of my acting career, as we say. But I want to ask you, Eric.
I thought you were always acting as a doofus.
Gee,
oh no, you're just one. That's all. Okay, I get it.
No,
I was frankly very surprised that Tom didn't get an Oscar nomination for his performance.
Yeah, right.
Especially in the restaurant scene.
I want to ask you though, Eric, of some of your fond memories while you were our director in our television days.
I'm trying to. I got a late start today. I was like in the shower and I was trying to think of like, what were some ridiculous. I mean, this is more Planet Access, but we were all involved. But always the Trail of Terror coming to the studio.
Absolutely, and that was
always the best.
And of course, you and John Sullivan had him on Wednesday Night Live, Ed.
Yes, we did. Wayne Barneschi and Trail of Terror, and I know Eric did a lot of work for us, along with Walter Hoffman, behind the scenes for Wednesday Night Live.
I think when I think about the station, or in a whole, because I just there was your show, and I could think of some stuff for your show, but I think what was nice about the show is, even though I was completely stressed out and not making any money doing it, I think it always helped bring in the spirit of the holidays, whether it was Christmas, we had Toys for Tots,
Mhm.
Whether it was something like the football games for Thanksgiving Day, even though I hated getting up that early and being in the cold. And then everyone's screaming and yelling because the freaking VCR doesn't want to play the tape or something. Yeah. But all of that helped. Was it like the 4th of July? What was the one we'd be like out in the street in front of the
Celebrate Wallingford.
Oh, that's not 4th of July. That's Celebrate Wallingford. But it was
That
like-
was,
first
that was one
weekend.
of our favorite shoots, right, Ed?
Yeah. Oh, that was great fun.
or even just
Great fun.
going to, and I know he passed away, but like going, was it Lenny's Cafe just before the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowls, the Super Bowl shoots.
Yeah.
Yes, that was awesome. We would tape it in the afternoon, and then a half hour before kickoff, we would air it, and we would, and Eric would be in charge of that. But we would interview Lenny and other, patrons of the bar and talk about the Super Bowl. It was a nice local lead-in before the big game.
Yeah.
But Eric, I wanted to mention when I think of that legendary video where didn't you guys lock Tom in a closet or something like that? Tom got locked in a
I didn't do it. I think it was Catherine and
Chris Bosher.
what was the other gentleman's name?
Chris
Oh,
Bosher.
Chris Bosher.
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
The
Chris.
intern.
But I do look at that video and I go, whoa. I got like jet black hair, no facial hair. I was a young guy back then.
You were hysterical.
Do I really want to let him out?
Jesus, Tom Dacey. Always
We
getting
have-
on my nerves.
We have somebody here. I don't know who it is. All it says is iPhone. I don't know if they want to say something, whoever it is.
Well, let's bring him on. Maybe it's a surprise.
It's me, Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Dottie.
How
We're
are
not
you?
seeing video. Where's your video?
Oh, I don't know. Where am I?
I think if you go to the bottom left, there might be something that says start video.
Okay, let me see. Start video.
There we go. Oh,
Okay.
there
Whoop,
you go.
wait a minute. Oh, hi.
Oh, there we go.
This is
How
my
are you?
this is my neighbor Dottie McNally.
Oh, hi. Oh, I don't know if that
Hi,
shows.
Dottie. How are you?
I'm Tom's other neighbor on the West Coast.
Hi. Yep. I'm one of his neighbors. And
Unfortunately, right, Eric?
I mean,
no,
can you smell him from there?
we're very blessed to have Tom as a neighbor.
Smells like hot garbage.
He was.
Well,
he
we're
was-
celebrating 27 years of talking with Tom. We're doing it via Zoom. We've had past guests, and of course, you were nice enough to call in. So this is nice. This is getting together 2021 style so far.
Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations, Tom. That 27 years, that's a long time.
I know, we didn't think I'd make it through one.
No.
Because
Yeah,
I
he
told you
was-
that story many times before, Ed, how the show actually started under the direction of Walter Mann. It was more or less on a whim. I was interning at NHTV in North Haven, and Walt approached me and said, "Why don't you do your own show?" And I looked at him, I said, "What are you, nuts?" So I told him that the only way I would do it was he had to come on as my first guest. And Eric, you can attest to this. You remember back in the day, for a while, I wouldn't go live. Well, all I would do is go on videotape.
Why was that?
But
You
now,
scared?
I always liked the safety net of videotape in case we screwed up, and we could go back and edit it. And
Yeah, no. And that's where I was like, I don't want to edit this anymore. This is not Emmy award-winning programming. Can we just like play it? There's only 7 people watching. Come on.
but then Ed, I started going live, and now ever since then, I'm live all the time now.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, was your first show with Walter about Woodstock? Because Walter had gone to Woodstock.
No, that was a few months later. He came on around the anniversary of Woodstock. We just did a general show for the very first show, which we actually taped in December of '93, and it aired in January of '94, because you could see in the old tape we had the Christmas tree behind us. And I just talked to him about him and his days at NHTV, because he was one of the founding members that really founded NHTV. So I wanted him to get the recognition that he deserved.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember we taped the show on a Monday. And at that time, NHTV was above the Knights of Columbus on Broadway in North Haven. And they didn't have an elevator. Walt used to lift me up in my manual wheelchair up 14 steps. And I can remember going in on a Saturday afternoon. I told him I want to do a dry run before we do anything. And we did a dry run for about 30 minutes. So I could critique myself. And I gotta tell you, during the show, when I watched the tape back, I caught myself doing this, looking at the watch to see how much time we had left. And, you know, so it was those things that I had to get used to, you know, but thanks to Walt over the years and Eric. But Eric had a couple of instances where he made me crack up in our Wallingford days, right, Eric?
Well, when you decided to finally go live, I would just yell obscenities right before the show went live to make you start
That's why
laughing.
I wouldn't wear an earpiece ever since then.
So I would yell obscenities from the control room to make him giggle. So we would go live, and there he was, like.
I know. What was it that night? I lost my composure for like what, 15 seconds.
I remember what was the tech show? Those two brothers. What was the name of the show?
Oh, Alan
and Chris.
Yeah.
Let's talk tech.
Let's talk tech.
I remember I used to hide underneath the switcher console and prank call them from the control room.
Yeah, I remember I was in there with you.
I was like, so you guys like dating or something?
How about the time you
remember
put the,
what?
How about the time you put the My Pretty Ponies behind them?
I remember one time, and I think you were there, Eric, when we were doing a cooking show with Efren.
Efren, yep.
Yeah.
And the Wallingford studio, and the smoke alarm went off.
Yeah.
And nobody knew how to stop.
No. Yeah.
That was a funny night.
Yeah, but I remember just having to call Kurt and be like, how do I turn it? It's over there. I'm like, where is the button? How do you do this? Like fanning it.
And he was so gracious about it. He was embarrassed, but we told him, don't worry about it.
Hey, Tommy, I was trying to have a guest come. Is there did you just copy and paste this number, right? Passcode? Yeah. Okay. I was going to have a surprise guest, but he says tell him the passcode's wrong.
No, it should be 722-757.
72. I'm trying to get some surprise guests for you.
We're celebrating Talking with Tom's 27th anniversary here on our Zoom show. 27 big years. First on public access, and now Zoom. Kind of morphed as this technology has continued to change. Since I'm trying to figure out when was 27 years ago. Was that 1994?
Yeah.
95?
94.
I was in the 6th grade.
No.
Yep. I remember 94. I remember 94 really good because I was going into junior high and I really started to get into music. And that's the year Kurt Cobain had, committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it was all over MTV. And that's where I really started to get into that grunge alternative movement of music. So I always remember certain dates you don't really remember. 94, I always remember 94. And that's when they had Woodstock too. That was a big one as well. Woodstock, 94. Because I remember I was a big MTV kid. Probably why I'm a big video guy, into video so much. But MTV was like, 94. So 94 was your first show at?
Yep, January of 94.
Was that NHTV?
Yep, and then I moved to Wallingford in 97. But even before I moved to Wallingford, and Ed, you remember this name, Russ Stiles, God rest his soul.
Oh, God, yes.
Russ used to take my videotapes and air them here in Wallingford. Even before I moved here.
All right, I think we have a guest, Tom. You should check your computer. Oh, who's that with that weird hat?
Weird hat. Speaking of weird hats, here's
Hey, Mike D.
Hey,
How are you?
Michael.
what's up?
How are you?
I'm good enough. Good enough. You know.
Thank you for
Awesome.
joining us this evening.
Absolutely.
The 27th anniversary of Talking with Tom.
27.
Yeah, this is the
That's
start
a lot.
of year 27,
Tom, what year what year? We were just talking about the year. What year did you start?
1994.
Hold on a sec. What?
Oh, it's his
Can I help
daughter.
you get this? I gotta help her get dessert. Daddy's on a phone call. What do you want? What do you want? Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Hi, party.
Hey.
We were just talking a few moments ago about the Burial Boys movie.
Well, this one definitely wasn't around when we made that. What do you want first? What do you want for snack? Go get something. I don't know, candy, chocolate. Go. My wife's gonna shoot me now. I might not make. You might have Burial Boys too. Mike D get shot.
Well, you know, Ed McCarver
Survived everything else. Couldn't survive this.
Ed McCarver just said that he's surprised that I didn't win an Emmy for my performance.
I mean, I'm surprised we just didn't take it all home.
Right. It would be an Oscar, actually, Tom.
Oh,
It all depends, you know, if we went straight to TV, you know.
Could have been a television series. Just
Hey,
every other word would be a bleep.
it got to the point where I actually pitched that to somebody and they said that was my best idea, but you know how those things work.
Like, do you actually have the same hat? I wasn't making fun of your hat.
Oh, I don't care.
But you can make fun of mine.
Well, it's crooked.
Do you ever take
Crooked
out
looks
Burial
cool.
Boys and take a look at it? Do you ever like
I do.
sit back and reminisce and watch the film?
I do around Christmas time because it's a Christmas movie. I also try to bury Burial Boys because it's like pre-Me Too movement, and that movie would not fly these days.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. We've been like, we're moving from this house, and I know it's in some place because I saw it when I was putting boxes together. So I haven't pulled it out, and I haven't shown my wife yet, and we've been together, what, like 6 years? So I'm assuming that when we move, that will be a take out of the box and watch.
Does anyone have more than one DVD? Because
No, I'm not.
I gave it to a chick, and then I never saw it again, so I don't have one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I only have one. If I find the extra one, I'll send it out.
Yeah, no,
That's okay.
You sent me a copy, Eric. I know.
All right, thanks. Can you send it
I
back?
have one.
Can you send it back
I
to me?
probably have a hard drive I'll send you with it on it.
I got it on a hard drive. I just want the packaging. I do have
Yeah,
a
no.
poster.
I know.
I do
No,
have
I
the
remember
poster hanging up.
You burned one for me, Eric. Remember, because I lost my original, and I told you the only way I had it right now was on my Amazon Prime Video.
Lost your DVD, losing your mind.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
All right.
But
So,
You know-
Michael, are you still involved? I know Eric is working on the West Coast. What has Mike DiMatteo been doing since we last talked?
He's been building a family. And then when I built the family, I realized now I got to work. So, but I didn't want to go on the road and, do the craziness again, because I figured I did that for 18 years. I kind of, I squeezed that lemon for everything that it was worth, and it was a brilliant time in life. And then, so I started doing some stuff for MLB down at the Mets games.
wow.
And then I went to an event at Albertus Magnus College for like networking, which is, I'm good at selling, but I don't really like going to the network events because usually I just do a lot of this and talk a lot of this. But the rest of my house was making me mad because I have a stepson, and at that time he was 17 and I was dealing with like high school crap. So I went to this event and I met some people from Albertus Magnus College, and then boom, boom, boom. And now I do a lot of videos for them, and I got my own business set up. And so still making videos, doing a lot more of the kind of actually similar to Burial Boys. Like we just did it all. And that's what I'm doing now. So that, and I've been working at NBC Sports Network before the pandemic. So just freelancing, and then, making a lot of videos for people. So it's been all right.
Nice. Well, I can
Tell us about. I was going to say, Oh, I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
Tommy. Go ahead. I was going to say, tell us about the Mets working with the New York Mets, and if they do allow fans to come back.
Well,
The
so
Mets are supposed to.
I do the ballpark cam, which is like if you ever watch MLB Network and like Mad Dog shows on there, Christopher's, and they go, let's go out to the field and talk to the Ed Coleman from SNY. And so on the field we set up. There's a robotic camera, and we just set up IFB, a little shade for them,
Oh,
and
okay.
then we kind of coordinate with back in New Jersey and New York where those cameras are controlled. And then the other job on site is replay technician. So basically, in order to get all those replay angles from the game down to New York, it's down in Chelsea Market, we basically connect both trucks to a patch bay and then send it down with certain angles. So, that's pretty good.
I have a
'Cause
question about that too. When they do instant replay, it's pretty quick on the replay. Like, have you ever seen how they do that?
So basically they got probably 12 angles on the home truck, and then 4, depending on how big the team coming in, 4 to 6 cameras on the away truck. So we take all those cameras plus the feeds, program feeds, and then we send them down through a patch bay, and that goes all fiber back to New York.
Wow.
And this is from everywhere, so it doesn't matter where you are. I mean, we happen to be in New York, so we're only going to Chelsea, which is like probably 12 miles, but from San Francisco all the way back to New York. And the replay umpire literally sits here and has multiple monitors of every game. So when there's a replay, they get a call, right? When the umpire puts the headset on, they get a call, and it's instantaneous. And so somebody's jogging and shuttling where that play is and what angles they get to pick. So it's a pretty laborious process. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's involved and a lot of high level stuff that I don't even know about with the way it's transmitting and to, have no delay and have everything synced up when we get there. Cause obviously you're talking about somebody hitting a base. So if one camera's, slightly off, and it happens all relatively seamlessly. Sometimes it's behind the scenes is crazy because they're like, oh no, this went down. But there's 2 or 3 backups for those things. So
yeah,
it's the technology that MLB uses, which is called BAM, like that's the company heading for it. But they ended up using that. The NHL uses them. So that almost became a tech company inside MLB, and they sold that to Disney.
Oh, wow.
Disney uses that for their streaming, and WWE was using it for a while. So, MLB got in real early on the streaming thing. Like when I was out in LA, they were having you could stream all the games if you bought that MLB package. So they were ahead of the curve. And some of the stuff they have is, it's just, it's exceptionally crazy what they can do.
I know. I just got rid of my cable, so I have Hulu TV now.
Yeah.
And I know come baseball season, I am going to be getting the MLB network.
Right. So, with COVID, I didn't do it this year because I was living with my in-laws, and my father-in-law's much older. Of course, then we all got COVID last month or in November.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What was your experience on that?
So
For you
me,
personally?
it was literally, it was so minimal. Like I didn't even know I was really that sick until I tried to chase the little one around the house.
Yeah.
And realized I was sucking wind, but
Because
I don't really have much more than that.
my
Daniela
brother
runs
got it. I found out my brother has it today.
Todd Man or Kev?
Todd. Yeah. So now my
And,
parents are all worried too.
Yeah, but Jessica had it. It was like a 3-day bad flu for her. Her mother had it, and she's 70. My father-in-law had it. He's 84 and in the terrible shape. He went to the hospital because he fell, and then he had COVID because he was weak. No signs other than that, and got pneumonia while he was at the hospital, which is normal for him, and everything was good. Yeah, and so we all came out of it, and I'm sure it's different for different people, but if you're in relatively good shape, or you get lucky like my father-in-law, then we were nervous for that, but
Oh, wow.
turned out all right.
I
So
wanted,
we quarantined.
I wanted to go back and talk to the two of you about Burial Boys. I can remember doing a show with the entire cast of Burial Boys back at NHTV in North Haven. Eric, how long did it take you and Aaron to put that whole thing together?
It wasn't just us; it was everybody.
I mean,
You
how
guys-
long did it take from start to finish to do the script and?
I think it took. Well, first of all, we're idiots. Not idiots, but in the sense the way that we filmed it. And I'll just say because it's a Christmas movie, so we're filming outside to get the Christmas look, holiday, snow, winter, freezing our buns off. And then we have to do all the interiors, and it took us like a year to film the whole thing. So now we're in like summer, July, June, whatever, August in Connecticut with like humidity, with like sweaters and scarves on in like a Christmas setting house party. So it's like either we were really, really cold or we're like
Really, really
sweating.
hot.
The first shot we got, remember with Keith
It was like
outside
it was
on
the
the
coldest
wall?
day. It was right in front.
It was unbearably cold.
It was right in front of the WPAA studio where the lamp guy was his name Johnny.
John
Where's the lamp
Letourneau.
guy?
John Letourneau.
yeah.
It was right in front of John Letourneau's. Sorry, my bird is going crazy over here. It's a. Yes.
By the way, that's the new funniest thing in my life. It's Schrader and his bird. I think you should just start writing right now.
Grogu. Yeah, we filmed right because Johnny always had the leg lamp from Christmas Story in the window. So we
Right.
shot in front of the store, Johnny's store window, and that was the first day of shooting.
And it
I
was
think-
unbearable.
Yeah,
I mean-
and I think Keith had that Attack of the Clones HD camera or whatever, like the Lucas camera or something, right?
Yeah, we had the big time camera, but it was so cold. It was unbelievable. And then when we finished it, it was like the opposite. It was like warm. So
But shooting, because we all had our day jobs, and
Right.
it was, and no one got paid to do this, so it was whenever we could do it, and trying to keep the band together just to get
Usually
it done.
on weekends. Yeah.
Yeah, weekends, or like because I worked at the studio, I had the keys, so sometimes we would do like night shoots after work was done at PAA,
Mm.
and I think it took a year
yeah,
of shooting. But the nice thing is, I think Mike D and myself, I was definitely cutting as we were shooting.
yeah.
So like by the time we got to the last shoot, I already had everything cut, and I just had to cut like the last scene or whatever. Then you have to do credits, and then everyone's got notes. So
And then I tried to mix it, but at that point, I didn't even know much about that kind of sound mixing in post like I do now. And
One of-
this part right here, this gray hair right here, this patch, that's Burial Boys patch. This is my wife. It used to be red. So like this is American Chainsaw right here. Like,
see, that's why
One of-
that's why I don't take the sunglasses off, because the eyes look tired.
One of my favorite moments has to be when we were doing the scene with myself and
Why are your favorite scenes always with you in
no,
them?
no. Remember the scene in front of
Tom
scene in
hates
front
me.
of
He just
Grand
loves me.
Central? The scene in front of Grand Central, and we got the cops called on us.
Well, what happened was, what was his name? He was a good guy. The bully. So there was these two patrons at the bar drinking outside the Grand Central, and we were shooting a scene. They didn't know we were making a movie, and you come strolling up in your wheelchair, and the bully makes some really nasty comment to you about being in a wheelchair, and the bar patrons thought he really said that, and we're about to like kick his ass. I mean, yeah. And we're like, no, we're filming a movie. And then the cops showed up. We're like, you can't be filming out and that, like, whatever, what is that called? Downtown area? What is that called? That little section of Wallingford. I guess it's like
Yeah,
the downtown.
I guess it's still considered downtown, yeah.
Yeah, that's downtown where you have uptown, downtown. Yeah. But, yeah, I thought there was going to be a fight. Because
and we probably would have filmed it.
Yeah, I would have kept rolling.
Because we were kind of like, we were in this world of like, we had a script, but it was really loose at certain points. So we probably would have went with it.
That script was like 12 pages, and there was just like bleep words all over it.
And of course, a lot of my scenes were totally improv.
Well,
Yeah.
So are mine.
It was very Kirby Enthusiasm stylistically.
Yeah. I think I would just have a drink and be like, all right, what do you want me to say? Way I can make that better.
There was a lot of that, yeah, for sure.
My favorite line, I could say the word A, right? I can say ass, right?
Yeah.
All right. Or can I say the S word?
Go ahead.
All right. My favorite line now was when I was.
Remember, Tom does want to have a 28th anniversary show.
All right. Well, it's Zoom. You can say anything on Zoom.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my favorite line is when we're doing the police interrogation. And I was like, wait. I was like, guys, I got one. And I'm like, and I take the cigarette. I go, we're assholes. Here to take a shit on you.
Yep. Yep.
That scene was really good, man. I wasn't there for the filming of that scene for some reason, but that's one of my favorite scenes in it because it's just that jump cut stylistically, and it's a bunch of one-liners, you know.
Yeah.
Do you
And,
guys ever talk to Seppi anymore and Aaron
No,
Sandler?
not. I talked to Sensio.
I haven't talked to Sensio in a while. I haven't talked to Aaron in a while. I mean, obviously he moved down to Florida.
They're both in Florida now.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Oh.
Sensio moved too.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Well, last
That's
I
a
knew.
great place to go. Yeah, COVID. Let's go to Florida or LA. Best two places to be.
Well, last
Hey,
I
listen.
knew, wasn't Aaron doing the Progressive commercials?
What?
I don't know.
I
I don't
thought
know.
I saw a post.
He did one of those, yeah.
Yeah, that he was working with Progressive, doing the commercial.
Yeah, he did one with Flo. He's all over the place, but
Mm.
now they're down in Florida, so I haven't really talked to him.
I still talk to Chris all the time though. Remember McCrossies? That was in a deleted scene, but Chris, do you remember that scene? Does anyone remember that scene?
Bodette?
It's on YouTube. Chris Bodette when he was McCrossies.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I talked to Chris all the time. He was also in the metal band too.
Right.
I won't say that word, but he was in the metal band. Satan's something or other.
oh yes, I remember the name now. Yeah.
I can't say that. But
Man,
yeah,
I really haven't thought about this in a long time. And it's
I try
still like,
I try to break it out every Christmas. I didn't do it this year. I should have. But I always like when I meet new friends in LA, people come to my house, we hang out, watch YouTube clips. I'm like, oh, I made this movie one time, and I show everyone. They think it's hilarious. I was like, yeah, it's a feature, and like, really, you made? I was like, it was kind of like, for me personally, the last hurrah before I left. It was like, I gotta just make a feature, then I think I could go now. Because when did it come out? Wasn't it like September 11th, 2011? I think that's what the.
I think so.
I believe so.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's 2000. I think it's 2010 actually.
2010.
And I remember the opening at the Holiday Cinema.
Do
Yeah,
you remember
yeah.
the opening? Because I don't remember.
Yo, they don't.
I do.
And I was setting everything up. I was ready to wring you and Aaron and Sensio's neck.
That's when you guys had
Which is
Samaya
what-
Hernandez doing the red carpet.
Nothing new that I wanted to wring all their necks, but hey.
I saw.
Like,
Yeah,
where are they?
It
Doing
was a
all this,
great night.
all
I
this
saw-
coordination stuff, and these guys are getting banged up, and I'm like, why? Why can't I?
I was so yeah. I don't even remember. I remember Channel 8 was there, and I did the red carpet, and they
Yeah.
definitely did not play my portion of the red carpet because I was
Probably a good
just
idea.
no.
Probably a
My
good
date-
idea by then.
My date was holding me up that night.
That was,
I was like-
I mean, that, like,
September 2nd, 2010. I found it.
that
right.
was worth the price of admission for making it right there for us. Like,
yeah.
that
Just
was a
having a,
blowout. I mean,
Yeah,
that was
a fun
absolute
night.
knockout of the park. The fact that that place was mobbed and packed and sold out was,
and then I had a residency there too at the Holiday for
Right.
like it played for like another 10 days or something shortly after. I actually went and bought a ticket and saw my own movie. There was nobody else there though. I think that once they saw the premiere, like, that's enough. But yeah, that's teamwork. You know,
yeah.
no one just makes it on their own. It's all about team. Just like we did it with PAA, and if you're ever in a band or a sports team, it's always teamwork. It's not this. I'm going to be a star. No, I mean maybe you are, but there's a team behind you.
Absolutely. Like
Always.
Ed-
Yeah, it's not my movie, it's our movie.
Like
Yeah.
Ed, like Ed
I
always
actually-
used to say, you had the tough job of making us look good.
Right. And that's something, I've learned, especially from like school and everything, college, because I was in communication courses. I made it a thing. If you look at any of my Facebook posts or anything, I don't say the word I or me ever. if I got to say something, I have to figure a way to say it without using those two words, because I'm sick of people who've never actually been on a real stage, but on this podium on the internet, and it just makes me disgusted, because I know what it takes to be on a real stage. Mike knows what it takes to be on a real stage. Tom Dacey, you've been on a real stage with Emma Carver in front of the cameras. So it's always us or our, not I or me.
Yeah.
I agree. I got involved
That's my
a few
hate
years
speech.
ago. I got involved a few years ago with Wallingford Community Theater, and that's the whole new concept. It's teamwork. It's I love it.
I saw.
I was Grandpa Joe and Willy Wonka, Eric. You would have
Yes,
loved me.
I saw that you were in the Willy Wonka.
Yeah, so-
They couldn't have picked a better person to play Grandpa Joe.
I didn't need much makeup. I don't know why.
Well, that's good for you. You know, I always thought, Ed, you definitely had the chops to be, first of all, the co-host, like kind of like
Ed
Johnny
McMahon
Carson.
to Johnny Carson.
Yeah, like you always
Yeah.
had that, but you were like more like Johnny Carson, but you were always the side guy. You're always
Yeah,
the guy,
yeah.
you're always the co-host, but you had the chops to be that guy.
Yep.
Well, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from John Sullivan, and then I learned a lot from Tommy, and then after I retired, I got involved with community theater, which I love. So, as a
Will you
matter of
go
fact, we're
back
doing
to that?
17.
Will you
that?
go back to that after all the
Yes.
chaos?
Yep. Actually, if everything works well, we're going to start rehearsals in April for 1776.
I know what that is.
Play.
Yep.
I got a part in that play. So,
Nice.
And if Wallingford has their Jubilee, which they were supposed to have this past year because of COVID, everything was pushed back a year. So everything is scheduled for June 2021. So, fingers crossed that we'll be able to do it. But we're supposed to start rehearsing again in April.
The last time
But you're right. The reason I mention it is because it's you're right. It's not I or me. It's we and us. Everybody works hard in the theater, just like we worked hard in television.
I've seen so many, especially in a town like this town, it's everyone, any opportunity that they have to take a picture with on a production set, they're like, I'm here, look at me. And I just have to look the other way, because I'm just like, it's not, no, we're all here.
That's never been me. That's like when I moved there, it just, I don't know, people always ask, who'd you work with? And I've worked with all these people.
I mean, look at Mike D. Mike D worked for our former president for years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I worked with the guy for years. He's just a person. I don't know why I put people on these pedestals. Like, yeah, there's some cool people I've met, but it's always just been like, what's up, man?
I remember our first conversation when he became president. I was like, so Mike, is he really like that? You're like, oh yeah, he's just like that.
Yeah, people don't know how to deal with it. Like, I mean, he's cranked it up and he's falling over the edge with some of this nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like now, like Pelosi, they're going to try and impeach him. It's like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. And this whole last fiasco was like, he's mad that he lost. Whether he lost or whether they stole it or whatever, it doesn't even matter. He's mad that he's lost, and he's like, inside he's actually hurt, but this is how he emotes it, because he's an egotistical maniac, because
Fight for me.
So it's, yeah.
Well, I know there was talk of maybe him starting his own network.
I mean, that's something's going to happen. Like, he's not going to go away, unfortunately, but people that give him credence, like now that they're trying to impeach him, like, I get it. He shouldn't have done that right now, but like, just let it go for 12 days. Like, are we really, like, does he really have any control being back there? No. So.
I have to ask you, Michael, and it was a great Chris Russo impersonation, and I was a big Mike and the Mad Dog fan back.
Oh,
back
you know,
in the
Mike,
day.
we got a great guy. Now, San Francisco, I love San Francisco. Go love the Giants, gotta love them. Dog, you're a little crazy here. It's driving me up the wall. Hey, I don't even know what you're talking about. I used to listen to him a lot.
Oh, we were talking about WFAN, and between Imus and Mike and the Mad Dog and Joe Benigno, it's I don't listen to it anymore because it's I don't know if I'm just not their demographic anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they
Not a
got a
big
lot of
fan
new.
Cardinals.
They got a lot of new people, but Evan Roberts is good. That was
Evan and Joe were good. Evan and Carton, I'm having a hard time warming up.
Yeah, he's Carton's a little too much for Evan. Evan's a lot
That's what I
more
think.
like he's too energetic. Evan's a little more low key. So Beningo's not like that until he gets amped.
Yeah.
But Evan knows how to sit back and let just Carton take the show
Yeah.
when it needs. But I used to listen to them nonstop at FAN. And the funny thing was I was a Red Sox fan. So I would listen to the Red Sox game on my radio that was on like a timer.
Yeah.
I had one of those first like CD players that was like a 3-disc changer I bought. It was like one of the big first purchases I made.
Yep.
And then I have my alarm on Imus. And I actually learned a ton about political stuff and political humor from Imus because he used to have the guys call in as like Richard Nixon. He had the impersonators.
Yeah.
And I picked up a lot of like, you know, when you're younger, you don't know the jokes because you weren't there you weren't around for that. But I picked up a lot of the humor that people now you knew about Richard Nixon without actually being there because of Imus.
One of the best things about YouTube is, and I don't know why I started, but somebody brought up Cardinal O'Connor, Bernard McGurk doing the lottery numbers as Cardinal O'Connor, and that's all over YouTube. It's hysterical.
Yes.
It's hysterical. It made me realize how good WFAN used to be in the
That-
morning.
Yeah, that's why it's like one of those ones where you're like, you're never going to recreate that. It was the moment that all happened with that all stuff in that one place, and it was exceptional.
Tom, what
We're
was
celebrating 27 years of talking with Tom here. We have a couple of our past guests and callers in. I'm sorry, Tom, we got a little sidetracked.
No
but
problem.
I had
no
a comment on that Chris Russo impersonation. So.
No problem. I just can't, like I said, I still can't believe it's 27 years. It doesn't seem possible.
I mean, by the look of you, yeah. Seems like
I do want to ask Mike D a question since he just mentioned the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this, but I am no longer a Red Sox fan since they decided to bring Alex Cora back. I think that leaves a whole black mark on the entire team.
Well, I don't know. It's a dicey situation. And
Do I dare tell him who my new team is, Ed?
Go for it.
I am
Michael
now
Lovett.
a New York Yankees fan.
Oh no, you went to what is it, the
Hey.
Anakin?
can I make a comment about sports, even though I'm like the guy who just watches wrestling? I always tell this to people because people are like over here, like big Dodger fans and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say to them, they're like, well, what's your team? And I go, well, I have two, but for the reasoning, because I'm from Connecticut. So for sports, I'm not a huge sports fan, but to me, the best was like going to a bar in New Haven or whatever and seeing the Yankees play the Red Sox. I just like that. I don't need to see anything else. But those two clashing, and it's a total 50-50 split at the bar. Those are my most exciting games for sports. But I wanted to let you know, it was around Halloween time a couple of years back, and me and my buddy from Connecticut, he was visiting here at the house in LA, and we had a couple of drinks and said, let's see if we can get some tickets to the World Series. $200 tickets. We went to the home run territory and watched the Red Sox beat the Dodgers in the World Series at Dodger Stadium.
Nice.
And we had no plans to go. We were like, let's just go.
I actually root for the Dodgers too because of Mookie Betts. I do like Mookie.
Let me tell you how worked up I was about that.
Dad, you have to bring me upstairs. It's time.
I got to bring you upstairs this time.
Well, I'll tell you, Tommy and Ed, where I get my COVID test,
Okay.
when I get a test, is drive up tests at Dodger Stadium. So Dodgers is like 10 minutes down the street. So you drive through the parking lot of the stadium, and they have bands playing. It's like a whole thing. They have a big movie screen set up, and you do it in your car. Like they give you the kits, and you put your phone to like the window, and they scan the code, and you swab. And by the time you get to the next little stopping point, you just the claw comes out. The claw, it's like Toy Story, and it comes out and it grabs your thing, and then takes your stuff, takes your spit.
Oh, wow.
So the
Yeah, I
last time I went, I traded. I was with my buddy. We traded so we could tell each other if we're negative or positive. So we swapped. So I'm like, hey, Kevin, you are negative.
I was mad, Tom. I was so mad about Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
I was raging. I was like, this COVID thing is locking us down. And now they got to do this. I don't know why you wouldn't pay that guy 300 and whatever million you want. But
I don't know.
I mean, he literally wins games.
But
We're
I
amazing.
did do a nice thing, though. I did not throw away all my Red Sox stuff. I donated it.
Oh,
I took all my jackets,
serious?
my shirts, my hats, and I put them in one of the clothing bins. And the memorabilia that I had, I split up between Red Sox fans in my community here.
And then the person that received it at Goodwill said, "This stuff stinks," and then they just burned it.
you know what's funny though? All those teams are doing shenanigans.
But
Because even with the replay cameras and the stuff that they can do, I mean, there's a camera on the signs 24/7. So somebody in the back is just charting them. And by the third time around the order,
I already got my Aaron Judge figure hanging on my wall in my living room.
that's just terrible. Maybe he'll play a few games and not get
I'm
hurt.
waiting for my new jacket to arrive. I just bought myself around Christmas time. I got a reversible fleece jacket.
I mean, you know how bad it is that sometimes
I forgot.
I turn down working Yankee playoffs games because I can't take it. I literally turn down money because I'm like, I do not want to sit in the stadium
Well,
and watch this.
my roommate John and I are planning on going to the stadium once this COVID stuff is all over.
4 years.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll work playoffs down there.
We're gonna take the train down and go to a game after all this COVID's over.
It's so stuffy though. They're so uptight there at Yankee Stadium.
Huh.
Mets, I could just walk around and do whatever I want. But I don't know. Now they're making big trades.
My favorite stadium is definitely Fenway, but going to Dodger Stadium, it reminds me of Fenway because it's like an old classic stadium.
I never went there when I was out there. I don't know why. Maybe
Well, the
'cause I
first
didn't
time
like
I
it.
ever went, Mike and I's mutual friend brought me to Dodger Stadium to see Billy Joel. I'm not the biggest Billy Joel fan. To me, that's not real rock and roll. That's just what my parents listened to, right? But I went, and it was fun. And know what the coolest thing about it was? I'm at Dodger Stadium getting a Dodger dog, which is their hot dog.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm hearing AC/DC. I'm like, oh, Billy Joel is playing AC/DC. And who comes out and sings? Axl Rose with Billy
No
Joel.
way.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is rock and roll for me.
I don't see that.
That was my first experience at Dodger Stadium. And then also Pink, that woman Pink, she came out and sang a song with Billy Joel too. So that was when we had seats on the field, which I never like stood or sat. I mean, you probably have, Mike, with the Mets production. I've never actually stood on a baseball field before. So
Big.
it's big. On TV, it doesn't look as big, but it's big.
Oh wow.
Like they hit the ball that far over that fence. That's crazy.
Yeah, when it's coming in at 98 miles per hour.
Yeah. Whoa. I mean, those guys are machines. Look, I mean, I don't want to keep talking about baseball, Tom. Don't you want to talk more about your memories and like what was your favorite?
Well, like Ed
What was your
said, I used to,
favorite time with Ed and I? Because I don't know your past. So let's talk about like more of the 2000s.
Just before you get it, I gotta go because I gotta put the baby to baby. She's 5. She's gonna be
well, thank you for joining us, Mike. Do you want to say anything before you go?
No, I want to say congratulations on 27 years. That's a lot of years.
Thank you.
How many titles do the Yankees have?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Did they have 27?
Or is it 28 now? I think it's 28. I think they just went to.
Well, it was good to see you, Mike D. Well, I'll make a call. We'll talk.
Yeah, no doubt. And take care of everyone else and keep
You
this
too,
show
Mike.
going. Let's
Thank you.
hit
Good
that
luck to you,
30
Michael.
mark. All right, we'll see you
Take
later.
care.
Better
Thanks.
send me a birthday
Bring
present.
back the Mad Dog.
Hey, I gotta get that trade. I got a birthday present, so I gotta go right now. Later.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was a great surprise.
Well, Mike's a
Yeah,
good
good
friend,
job,
and-
Eric.
And you know, Mike, I was telling the story earlier when John was on about going to Boston. Mike D is the guy responsible for me getting to where I'm at. I did it myself, but he helped me along the way. Like he got my foot. He was the guy that got me the foot in the door to meet the LA people to branch that connection. But it was all Mike D. But when I lived in Connecticut and wanting to move to LA, he was already out here. And I would just get
Exactly.
so excited to be like, "Hey man, is this like a spot on the couch? Because I'm gonna come one day. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there." He's like, "Yeah, Schrader." He goes, "But I think I'm leaving." I'm like, "No, don't leave. I haven't even gotten there yet." And he came back, and then we became roommates. And then we did Burial Boys. We lived together in Hamden. His brother had a pretty nice house that we all lived in. It was like 4 or 5 dudes. It was like Animal House, but it was a nice house. But it was like Animal House. And yeah, he's responsible for. I gave him an award. So when you win like an Emmy, you get to send. I think you get up to 5, and it's like a plaque award to 5 different people that like helped you personally with the achievement of the award. And Mike was the first one I thought of, and I sent it to
Oh,
him in the
good.
mail. So he got a
Oh,
nice.
that's nice.
I bought a frame and everything, so I framed it, and he's got some Emmy kind of thing at his house on the wall.
That is really nice.
Yeah, there was like 5 people that really got me out here, at least.
Absolutely. That's great.
And when you're one of them too, Tom, because I was like, I do not want to hang out with this guy anymore. I gotta get that fudge out of here.
Well, you made us proud, Eric, by making it big out on the West Coast.
It's not
I
big
will-
enough. We are gonna keep moving and go harder and make it bigger. You don't just settle for whatever. Keep
I
going.
always
always
used
knew
to
there
say-
was going to be a day when I would say, I knew him when.
Yeah, it's funny too. The old station, they always try to hit me up. I never respond.
No, things have definitely changed over there.
No,
That's why I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing now.
they reach out and I go, I know who my friends are. You're just reaching out because there's a statue in my house.
Yep. But Ed, like you were saying, some of the favorite moments that I had were doing the location shoots, especially through the years with the help of my brother Johnny and his father-in-law Pat. Do you remember doing the Irish Festival on location?
Is that the one in North Haven?
Yeah. I did those for quite a many years.
I remember doing that with John.
Yeah, and then I did them for a couple of years myself.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm thinking of the North Haven Fair.
Yeah, no, they used to have the Irish Festival right at the fairgrounds too.
Oh, okay.
And I can remember doing them quite a bit because my niece, Siobhan, Johnny's daughter, took up Irish dancing. And I can remember
okay.
having, with the help of my brother Johnny, his father-in-law, Pat Hosey, was on the Irish Festival committee. And we had him and Sean Canning.
Okay.
And I believe, I want to say Joan Kennedy, I believe was her first name.
Okay.
And I remember I did quite a few shows with them prior to the Irish Festival, and then I would go and do the location shoot.
Yeah.
And I can remember, I believe it was at the Irish Festival that year too. I wish I could find it. I did an interview with none other than Linda McMahon
Oh yeah.
when she was running for office.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta admit somebody else here. Hold on.
Ed, real quick, my good photographer friend David Apuzzo. Maybe you met him before. Maybe he was on the show. I forget. But anyways, him and I had filmed a wedding for someone that worked at. He did photo. I did video for someone that worked at WWE. So we got a whole tour of was it Stanford?
Yeah.
Headquarters. The first person we see in the lobby goes, "Hello, gentlemen. Have a great day." I'm like, "Oh my God, that's Howard Finkel."
Yep,
The
and
fake.
Oh.
Yeah,
he
the
was in
fake.
North Haven. He worked in North Haven at Marlin Firearms back in the day.
There is your new champion, the ultimate warrior. I mean, that guy, his voice made you get excited. Like he's, you know, that Royal Rumble guy. Let's get ready to rumble. That guy has nothing. And the Fink, he was like,
Michael Buffer, the ring announcer. Yeah,
no,
they all learned from Howard Finkel.
Howard Finkel was the man.
Howard Finkel was the best.
Yeah, he was the best. But
he was a nice man.
I got to see the studio or the facility, and I mean, there's Andre the Giant's boots, like in a glass case. I saw Vince's office.
Any Undertaker stuff?
Oh, Undertaker stuff. Oh my God, I don't know if you guys have the network WWE. My little brother does, and that documentary about Undertaker's breathtaking. It's
actually
like
Drew has it. So
it's like
I did
8 episodes long. The last one, I could not stop crying. The whole last episode is phenomenal. The dude just could not quit, and he's like, "I got it. I have to quit."
Yeah.
And it keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a story to tell you too, and I'm trying to find it because I'm gonna send it to you.
Well, while you try to find it, I just want to welcome. We have a new person that joined us.
Sorry, Tom.
I want to welcome another neighbor, Geraldine Bronner. Geraldine, are you there?
I'm here, Tom.
Can
you hear me?
I can hear you, but we don't see you yet.
The bottom left, there's a little thing that says "Start Video" on your phone.
Let's see. Why could I get that?
It should be in the
bottom
left.
It doesn't stay on. Oh, for God's sakes! Start video.
There you go. You're getting there.
Well, now, raise hand. Says raise hand. Should I raise my hand?
Let's see.
I'll raise my hand. How's that?
We can hear you.
You're coming in loud and clear.
Start recording. No, I don't know. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. We just can't see your
well,
face.
you're just not going to be able to see me, and believe me, I'm here.
I don't believe it. Prove it.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
There she is. Dottie's with us too.
Hi.
Well, I want to welcome you, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you very much. Congratulations. Oh, Tom, I fell asleep. I almost forgot you.
Well, I'm easy to forget, right, Eric? Eric will attest to that, right, Eric?
Easy to forget. And, during most of those shows at PAA, I had to set an alarm too to be like, oh my God, I fell asleep. The show's almost over. I got to hit stop recording.
I think I better try because you'd never believe me.
Well, Eric, Jerry has the displeasure of living next door to me, so.
Can you guys smell him from there? Can you smell his apartment from there? Does he take the garbage out? Someone take his garbage out for him. Look, I got to see garbage laying around you, behind you. What's all that
He's
stuff
always got
behind you?
something, right?
Hey, Tommy, you still have cats?
Yeah, I have one.
I got one too. We had a friend that passed away just before the holidays in LA, and I took the cat in for now. His name is Sneak, also known as Sneaky, and he is sneaky. He destroys my place. He's only 2 months old, but he's adorable. But I got bites and cuts and everything all over my arms.
Oh,
He likes to eat your arms. Well, he needs to be neutered, and I think once he gets neutered, he will calm down a little bit. But
Well, it'll be, I believe, 2 years next month that I bought Happy Home.
wow, that's a lot of irony in that name, Happy, but he's living with you.
Yeah. Well, they all know he hides. He doesn't come out when anybody comes in the apartment. He goes and hides in the bedroom closet.
His name's probably, you should name him Depressed.
Yeah, right? No, his name was Happy when I got him.
And now
Or oppressed, one or the other.
Oppressed.
Yeah. But Dottie, he came out that day when you came to the house.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not you.
No, he only likes to sneak attack from behind. He comes up and pokes me and then runs away.
I don't think he likes your chair. Maybe that's the whole problem.
Probably.
So I had a WPAA story for the old station, and I'm going to send it to you in the chat so Ed and Tommy could check it out, or you can all check it out, but it's really nothing. But Remember the WPAA van, the silver van?
Yeah.
Yes. We used to take
My-
it to football games and
Yeah.
remotes and things like that.
So Kurt, or the studio, sold the van to my old singer from my band at the time, Chris, who's in Burial Boys as well. And I have a little, it's like a 4-minute, yeah, it's like 2.5 minutes long. Like kind of like a documentary. It's only 2.5 minutes, but the singer bought it and we ended up driving it to Bonkers, New York. What is it called? Not Bonkers.
Yonkers?
Yonkers.
Yonkers.
Yeah, we had a show in Yonkers and we drove that van to Yonkers and we had to keep pulling over because that van would not make the trip. So we had to drive home with all the lights off, all the interior lights off just to make it home because that van was just like so beat up. But it was the old WPAA van. We drove it to Yonkers and back, and I think, which should only take a few hours, took like 9 or 10 because we were pulling over and getting a jump. Like we were so dumb. We should have never driven that van like past Hartford. But yeah, I'll send you the clip because it's pretty funny. Like just a van dying and just I'm documenting like early documentarian style. Like
Oh, that's funny.
it's called Welcome to Hell. The name of the band was Coven. It's called Welcome to Hell, the Covan.
Oh, that was when you were with Coven, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God, that's
God, I had
funny.
forgotten about that, man.
But yeah, it's the birds chirping. I also got a bird. So
A bird and a cat?
yes, ma'am. And I have photos where the bird or the cat likes to lay on top of the bird's cage, ready to.
Uh-oh.
I bet.
But he
Oh my
can't.
God.
There's no way in. But he lays on top of the cage. But at nighttime, I separate them. Like I close this living room area that I'm in right now, so the cat can't do any destruction when I'm sleeping at night.
Oh, that's Tweety and Sylvester, right?
Exactly. I went from having no pets to having a cat and a bird, the two pets that you don't want to have together in COVID.
Yeah.
Stay
I
at home.
Oh God, that's funny.
And let me see. I'll grab the cat. Hold on.
He's going to get his cat.
As we
Lion's hiding
continue to
in
celebrate,
the other room.
here as we continue to celebrate 27 years, the 27-year anniversary of talking with Tom. And Tom, I'm sure we'll be zooming some more as 2021 unfolds. But it'll be nice
Absolutely.
to get back in studio or around location. Look at the cat. Nice.
Sneak. Say hi, Sneaky.
Oh,
Oh, isn't he?
How cute.
His name is Sneak. Also known as he's 2 months old.
Aw.
He likes
Oh,
to
mine
eat.
is actually behind me here on the chair, buddy. I can't get
Does
him
he have
over
a
here.
sharp
If I go
knife
to
or
move the chair,
object?
he'll probably jump off.
Is he carrying a sharp object? He'll probably take it out.
He'll probably jump off if I go to move the chair.
Is this a 2-hour special?
It's
Oh,
Smokey.
everyone's-
No.
Has everyone got their animals?
Yeah.
Oh, Dottie's got her.
Oh, look.
Oh, that's the first time I've seen your cat.
Look, there's a kitty cat. Look, there's a cat. Look.
He's like 18 years old, though. he's an old man.
Who's that?
What's that cat's name?
Pardon?
What's
Smokey.
your cat's name?
Smokey.
We got Smokey and we got Sneaky.
Sneaky Smokey.
And Happy's hiding on the chair behind me.
It sounds like it's like some kind of marijuana joke. Sneaking some smoke.
Yeah, really.
Sneaking some Smokey.
Hmm. I don't know, all you cat lovers. Not me. I'd fall over him.
Oh, yeah, they do like to wrap, get near your legs,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I don't have an animal, to tell you the truth.
Nah, mine just likes to poke me, that's all.
least someone's
I don't know what
working.
you do to that poor cat, Tom.
I don't do
He
nothing
does
to
not
him.
like you at all.
I'm the one that feeds him and everything else, and he pokes me.
Yeah.
Ed, is your son still in Los Angeles? Is Drew still in Los Angeles?
No, he actually moved back. He's actually working in Jersey. Well, works in New York City,
Nice.
but actually lives in Jersey City. So
Well,
he takes a boat over to work. I guess.
Wow.
So,
a little too cold for
Yeah.
me, but yeah,
Yeah.
Ed's son had lived. If it was just a couple of years sooner, we would have been neighbors, because he lived exactly across the street from my old place before I moved.
I remember you saying that. That's pretty wild.
Before I moved to this side of town.
Ed,
What's
I
up,
just
Ed?
wanted to let you know that I did reach out to Father Kingsley.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, he couldn't make it this evening because he had a prior commitment. He had a meeting this evening, so he wanted to know if he could come back and do another show with us. So I told him that I'm open to any date that works for him. I told him this way he can give us an update on Divine Mercy,
Okay, good, excellent. Sounds
because
good.
the clinic is coming along very well.
Nice.
So
So 2021 is we'll kick it off in style as we're doing tonight on January 8th.
Yo,
yep. Like I said, I still can't believe it's 27 years. Doesn't seem possible.
yo,
Yeah.
you got like 10
Yeah.
minutes? You got 10 minutes to spare, or like 5 minutes to spare?
But Ed, I wanna share a funny story. I don't know.
Actually,
You could-
Eric, I think
I'm making fun of him for 2 hours.
something happened, Eric. I think something happened to your microphone.
Oh, I don't know. Is that Eric or is he playing that
Eric-
video?
I think
I
he-
have the ID and the passcode, but I got Mike D on before, and I'm just like trying to get people.
Oh, I think he's talking to somebody.
Oh, I think he's talking to somebody else.
I
Oh,
wanted
okay.
to share that story, Ed, if you wouldn't mind. Remember when they had the
All right, well,
newspaper
why don't I do
article
this?
on me
I
years
can
ago,
hang up, and I'll
and you
text
talked
you
to the reporter,
the ID and the code.
and you
Oh,
told
sorry.
them what you thought my greatest handicap was? Share that story.
I'll text you the ID and the code.
Well, yeah, I remember we were talking to a reporter years ago, and well, of course we were talking about all the good work you do with Tommy Palooza and all the charities you've done and all the good work you've done over these many years. And I remember I said to the reporter, well, Tom is an inspiration with with the show and everything and the obstacles he's had to overcome. And then I said, Tom's only handicap is he's a Miami Dolphins fan. That's the only handicap I see. This is back when you were into football.
Yep, not anymore.
You remember saying that, but you are. I mean, the work you've done with Tommy Palooza, and of course the toy drive at Christmas, and you are an inspiration. And it's you've been here 27 years, and I jumped on after we ended Wednesday Night Live in 2004. So
Yeah,
I haven't been all 27 years, but
I can
been a
remember.
few.
I'm sure Eric, you will remember this, but I know he's busy. But I remember even before that,
I'm not busy. I'm trying to get you a surprise guest.
I had you on my Christmas show for Toys for Tots, and we referred to you as Eddie the Elf.
No, I think it was Eric the Elf.
And do you remember that what did John Sullivan say to me after that? You stole my co-host?
I do remember that. Yes. So, well, I know John and I had a 5-year run. We did, I think, 1998 to I want to say 2004, and then I know we came back in 2007 for the Powder Puff game, and the Carini Bowl Thanksgiving Day football game. So.
And of course, you guys did a lot of the high school basketball too.
Yep, we do that, and that's as a matter of fact, that's when we used the van,
Yeah.
Eric's favorite van. We used that to do the basketball games.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That van would be like, it was a Carrie. Is that the car movie Carrie? Because you get in that van and you like put in the keys, and all of a sudden the locks would go. You're like, whoa, what is going on? Like it was that van was kind of cursed, the production van. And I think we drove it like on our show with like PAA on the side of it. The detail was still there.
Yeah. Yeah, because we used to take, I think the farthest we took it was maybe she in high
Oh,
school.
I see somebody. Yes, Eric must have made a phone call.
Yes, I did.
All right.
We have a guest.
This is Sensio.
I don't know. Tom Daisy, this is your life. Come on, bring it up. Yeah,
I admit him. Is he there?
I guess it doesn't matter because we're not with each other. I can actually have a cigarette during this because you can't. You're not. I'm not next to you.
I admitted him. Is he there? I don't see him yet.
Figure it out, Tom.
This is the best anniversary show we've had.
Yeah, don't disappoint, Tom.
Oh boy, Tom, now they got you.
No,
Oh,
I
there he
already
is.
admitted him, but I don't see him up here.
I see him
Yep,
How come-
I see him
how come
here.
I'm not seeing him.
because you're slow.
Tom, is this 27 years?
Oh, there he is. I see him now. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you, man?
Good.
You were looking good.
Thank you.
Wait, you don't age, Tom? What's this? 27 years? Well, I hope. I hope to see
27-year anniversary show.
I hope to see another 27 more years out of you, Tom.
Thank you, sir. And we had a nice talk earlier about Burial Boys. Is there any memories of that movie you'd like to share?
There's tons of memories from that movie that I will cherish. Can't really say to share right now to the public.
Pre Me Too movement. You can't talk about that stuff anymore.
Yeah, it got kind of rowdy and raunchy, I said, from time to time. But one of my favorite scenes was when we killed you, Tom.
Yeah, right?
When we killed you,
I think everybody liked that.
giant remote to zoom you around and cause you to crash. That had to be one of my favorites, though.
I still have that remote here at the house.
I need to get another copy of the movie.
Well, that's what I was just saying. I was like, who's got copies? Because I only have it on a drive. I don't even have a DVD.
Yeah, I lost mine in the move.
I lost mine somewhere too, and Eric had to make me another copy because the only way I could get it, I tried to order it again on Amazon, but the only way I could get it on Amazon was the video through Prime Video, so I didn't have it on DVD.
If you really want to watch it, I believe it's still on YouTube.
Yes, it is. My goal was to have because it came out September 2nd, 2010. My goal is holiday season, and COVID screws everything up. COVID's like a bad ex-wife. It screws everything up. Sorry. Or a bad ex-husband. I gotta, The issue, what I want to do, because it was a Christmas movie, was to all be together this past holiday season if I came back home to visit and do a screening with everybody, because it'd be a 10-year anniversary of the making of the film. And then COVID happened, and then Sensio's moving to Florida. Aaron moved to Florida. They're neighbors now. They hang out every day.
If you fucking followed me here.
Hey, you can't say the F word. How warm is it in Florida right now?
Yeah, man, it's you know what we should do? We should do a Zoom reading.
I'm not
of
reading
the
that
movie.
stuff. No, I'm not reading that. No, I got a career now. I'm not reading any of that stuff.
Look, I got an
I said
Emmy.
some
I'm
pretty-
not reading that.
I said some pretty bad stuff in that movie. And it's comedy. It's a character, but that character is like, I'm not going to get political, but he would definitely been at the Capitol the other day. Hey,
Oh my God.
he would have. He would have.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Was there in spirit, I want to say.
He'd be drinking a Jack and Coke at Pelosi's desk, taking shots.
Oh my
We
God.
would have got to that podium first.
Yeah. He would have had a nice cigarette at that podium, like, yeah, here we are. Sorry, it's like Animal Kingdom over here. The bird's going crazy.
Yeah. Well, I got to run, but Tom, congratulations on 27 years.
Thank you,
Hope to
Sensio.
do
Good to
another
see you.
27.
He's
Good to
running from
see
the,
you.
he's actually running from the police right now.
Yeah, those helicopters, that's for me. So, I gotta
Good
go.
to see you, Sensio. Thank you.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Party,
Bye,
sir.
Sensio.
I'll call
All
and
right.
check in.
Bye-bye.
Roger that. All right. You guys take care.
You too.
So,
Oh, that was nice, Eric.
So Sensio was part of our production, and he's been on Talking with Tom a few times. And we were all very close for that 2 years of making this little film that we shot mostly in Wallingford. So lots
Yeah,
of,
because I was on scene quite a bit.
a lot of it took place in downtown, uptown Wallingford, and New Haven. Those were like the two key locations. I remember there was that last with, remember Lou, is it Petrie? The mayor.
Leo.
Leo. It was that last scene where it was like a Christmas party scene. And again, it was like August or whatever. We're all wearing sweaters and hot as can be. Someone had like this big house that we filmed in. I think that was the one thing that took place maybe in Madison or something. Someone had a big house that we shot in. And I had been editing late the night before and, you know, having a couple drinks. And then we get to this party scene that we're shooting, and everyone's drinking at the party scene. So I had no sleep and just like hung over. And I remember right before my part, I started feeling sick. And I went, I don't even know who owns this house. I went to the garden and I just started puking right before I was supposed to do my part. And it's to the point where like I'm wiping tears off my face because it was so like dramatic. And I said, all right, let's do it. And I just got right back into the character, like, but I just remember like I'm just throwing up on someone's like daffodils or something.
Oh my God.
Well, you know, making a movie, it's like a band.
The show must go on.
Oh,
Yep.
the show always goes on. But it was like being in a band. It was almost like being on the road. It's like, you know, you have your lighting guys, your grip guys. It's like being on, you know, the band. When the band tours, it's not just 4 dudes in a band. There's a whole team that you never see. So like the production was like this big giant team, but it was also like, hey, we're doing this for nothing. We're having fun. So it was always a party. That's why like every time we said cut or we rapped for a day, we always did a dance party. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we always danced at the end of every scene, because my goal was if we danced at the end of every scene, I would use that for the credits and have like a little dance party during the credits.
Yeah.
Because I thought, you know, who doesn't love to dance?
Well, I can remember the scene that we did at the Brew Cafe in New Haven, where
Comedy club scene.
where I started the bar fight.
Yes, and I was punching you for real. I was like, Tom, the close-up is, I mean, I got to hit you for real, sir.
And I mean that was what, like a 10 or 11 hour shoot just for that one scene.
When we were
I can
young.
remember being there all day.
I can't do that anymore, but yeah, when we were young. I think as I got older doing this for so long, like we dial it in, we can get stuff done in like 3 to 4 hours. But back then we didn't know what we're doing. There were so many people and it always took so long. That's the hard part. It was always great when you got something good. But for me personally, every time we had that footage and I brought it home, it was like opening a Christmas gift. And I was like, I can't wait to play with this toy. So it was always so fun to have the footage, because I had the best experience just sitting here just laughing my ass off, edit all of that and all of the characters. And
I can remember being off to the side on a lot of the shoots, and I was laughing my ass off.
yeah, we had you escorted a couple of times too.
I can remember.
I have to ask Eric, if I may, about an actor you mentioned, because did you say Leo Petrie?
Leo, yeah.
Leo Petrie.
Leo, yeah.
Because I think I know him, and I didn't know him at the time. If I may, it'll only take a minute. I I have a part-time gig at Quinnipiac University in North Haven where I play what they call a standardized patient.
Or as I say,
It's almost like the old Seinfeld thing that Kramer did.
Yeah.
You know,
They draw you
there are
naked.
a bunch of us. Well, there are a bunch of us, and we have to memorize the script, and we have a disease or a condition. The medical students come in and interview us, and you know, we just got a bunch of new last year. We got a bunch of new standardized patients, and one of them his name is Leo Petri.
White hair,
I'm gonna have to,
full head of white hair.
yes,
Short guy.
yes.
That's him.
That's
He
him.
lives in North Haven. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
remember because I had to do an interview with him. I had a say in hiring him, and he said he did some theater background. I mean,
Yeah.
very nice man.
He's in a
And,
bunch. He did a bunch of stuff. He did a bunch of short films and stuff.
Did he really?
And I think he's in some of Aaron and Cencio's like side things. They had like these little comedic shorts. He was in a bunch of them. But he was the mayor.
Yeah, a very, very nice man. But I didn't realize the connection when you mentioned his
Yep,
name.
that's him.
Wow,
That's
I know
him, all
Leo.
right. I remember you utilizing. This is before we started shooting. We utilized Tom. I think you were there too. We utilized WPAA as the casting studio. So we were
Yeah.
having our first casting, and we put out a thing. I think back then maybe it was early days of Facebook or MySpace. I don't know. I think it was Facebook. And it was this terrible, terrible snowstorm that happened. And those guys from New Jersey showed up, you know, the mobster guys. They drove
Yeah.
all the way from New Jersey during the storm to try out for our movie. And I thought that was really fantastic. And
Great bunch of guys too. They were the nicest
Yeah.
guys too.
One of them had passed away. He was the bigger guy. I forget his name. White hair as well. He had passed away in the last couple of years.
Oh wow.
But I always liked what was his name? The tall guy. Anyways, him and I had the same birthday. But those guys were fun. Like they really brought another element to the table. And you know, we're a bunch of Connecticut filmmakers, but we had like this team from Jersey that had like the accent, and they were like, they looked like the Sopranos. Like they were like, I thought they could kick my ass. Like I was like scared of them kind of in a way, but they were so nice. And I remember they showed up to the premiere at the Holiday Cinema. I remember Wayne Barnesci driving us in the hearse.
Yep.
And there was no like room for all of us. So I actually sat with Cencio like in the back where usually the body is. Where the coffin is, because we piled everyone in. Because there used to be a bar or restaurant right in front of the Holiday Cinema closer to that main strip in Wallingford. What's that main road right there? I forget.
Route 5?
Yeah, Colony
Route
Street,
5.
Route 5.
Route
yeah.
5.
There was a bar that was right by Route 5, and then Holiday Cinemas in the background. I don't know if I doubt that bar is there anymore. And that's where
Well, it's Wooden Tap now, but I think it was
think
it called Huxley's? Huxley's back then?
maybe it was Huxley's Wooden Tap. I've seen that around too. But
Yeah.
we were
The bar
we were pre-gaming, and Wayne came to the restaurant and basically just picked us up in the parking lot, piled in the hearse, and drove us in front of the theater and dropped us off. And
One memory I wanted to share, Ed. Do you remember one night we were getting ready to do a show and two strangers walked in off the street and said they were interested in getting involved in cable access, and we put them to work on our show that night?
I remember. I know.
Do you
you're
remember
gonna
who
say,
those
yeah.
individuals were?
I do.
Michael Buckley.
Michael Buckley and Kristen Baltramitis, who went on to do Table for Two. And now Michael Buckley is a big YouTube celebrity.
Is he still doing the YouTube?
Yep.
Yeah, I
What-
think it's called What
What
the
the
Buck.
Buck?
I think was
What the
was
Buck?
his tag.
Yep.
What the buck? Yeah, 'cause
I remember
had
they came in. And I remember my memory of Michael was that first night. He was very quiet, almost kind of shy.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know it when he started Table for Two.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But as,
yeah.
as someone that's like a documentarian, when I saw him work, I was like, that guy has the it factor. Like he
Yeah.
definitely had it. Like he was so good in front of the camera.
Eric,
Yeah.
do you remember the night that he co-hosted with me?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep,
And then he won the opportunity and did Regis and Kelly.
yep.
Remember that?
Yeah, I saw that.
I remember that. He was awesome. I remember that show.
He won.
awesome on
and
it.
he got to co-host with Kelly, right? Is that her name? I always think Kathy Lee because that's when I was a kid. But like Kelly was the replacement or whatever.
But
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought? I mean, here they are. They just walk in off the street, and the rest is history, as we say, right, Ed?
What was it? He used to call WPAA Whoopa
Whoopa.
Radio.
Yeah, Whoopa.
Yeah,
Whoopa.
that was funny.
Have you
Yeah,
ladies, have you
lot of good
ladies ever visited the studio? Do you know of the studio?
They've heard of it. They haven't been there.
There was one location on Center Street, and then the second facility was gorgeous. I mean, I haven't been there in years. I did try to go one time.
Neither have I, so don't feel bad.
I did try to go. The last time we hung out, we were at
Los Mariachis.
Los
Yeah.
Mariachis.
and after we were having drinks and food, I went and I walked over to the studio, and that was the second time when I came home. Nobody was there. It sucked because I would have loved to like gone inside, but I walked after we all split up. I walked over there. And then I think I had band practice that night, so I bought a bunch of wings from Archie Moore's and brought them back to Hamden to feed the band. And it's nice because the Archie Moore's that you have, I used to live on Linden Street, East Rock, off of Willow Street. So I had like the OG Archie Moore's downtown New Haven,
Okay.
and I used to walk there all the time. There's only two, right? No, there's another one somewhere else, right? In Madison or Guilford. Is there another Archie Moore's?
I'm not sure.
I think Guilford, Brantford, something like that.
I know.
Yeah, there's a third.
I knew about the
Frankfurt.
one in New Haven because I remember when I used to live at Judge Square before I moved here. There was a gentleman that lived down the hall from me, and he was also in a wheelchair. And he used to take the bus all the way to New Haven just to go to Archie Moore's because he couldn't get in this one.
Oh, the Willow Street one. I think that's the OG, the original spot, and that's where I used to live. And across the street, there was a Shell station. And we used to nickname it Yo MTV Shell because every time we would roll in there, they would play like 90s hip hop. So it was known as Yo MTV Shell.
That's funny.
That's when I lived with Mark. Remember Mark Sienkiewicz? I think he was a guest on your show.
Yeah, Marks and Cabbage. Yep. How's
And
he
his-
doing?
His
There's
family
a name from the past.
His family owns the Italian restaurant on what's Cafe 9 on? What's that? What's bar on?
Whitney Avenue?
Is it Whitney?
No, Crown.
Crown. Yep.
Crown and Orange. His family owns, and I used to work there before I moved to LA. Is Scapo Italian restaurant. It's a beautiful. It's Mama is from Northern Italy, and it's her and the family, and it's like really like the Italian Partridge Family. You go in, they do song and dance, and it's a really like tapas style Italian. Like they can only fit like 30, 35 people in the restaurant, but they bust them in and out. So in any given night, there's like 3 shifts of just people coming. But yeah, I think he's got like 4. When I was living with him in New Haven, he had 0 kids. Now he's got like 4 kids. He's the master chef at the Italian Restaurante. When I used to work there, I was known as Enrico Michele. They changed my name's Eric Michael, but they changed my name to Enrico Michele. I was the only non-family member, but I was the roommate.
Oh, that's funny. Ed, do you want to talk briefly before we go? Talk briefly about some of the shows that we did this past season?
Well, we had besides Eric, who we had on in June, and John Seville, who was on earlier with us tonight, we had him on. I know we had Dee Dee O'Malley and Michael Lusk from Poppy Iris, who was
What a great show that was too.
They were on in October. yeah, they're a nice band. You know, boy and girl, beautiful sound. They have nice videos. So they you'll be hearing from them, I think, in 2021. Of course, a past guest that we had on at WUPA, as well as everything else, is Doug Allen. Doug Allen used to have
who's really
a,
making it big out in Tennessee.
He is. He's in Nashville now. He would have in the summertime. He would have every Saturday. He'd have a Doug Allen's happy hour gig that he would go on Zoom and then play for anybody that would like to hear him.
Well, he told me that he hopes to be starting that up again, but he may move it to Sunday evenings instead of Saturday.
Nice.
Oh,
Now
One
that
of, one of the nicest interviews we had, and I think this was actually even well, we interviewed him twice. Rich Capola, and we had him once. We had him on in July during COVID, but we also did an interview with him earlier at on location, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, well,
And,
unfortunately, the one we did on location, remember we didn't have no video? The video didn't work.
Yeah.
That's why I invited
But
him
Rick-
back.
But Rich Capola, who's now was for years was the sports guru at Fox 61, is now doing news at WTNH News 8, and he's having quite a successful career. They're very nice interview.
Yes,
And of course, Tom,
I was gonna say I spoke to Rich earlier. I spoke to Rich earlier today, but unfortunately he had to work tonight, so he was hoping he might be able to pop in, but
And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say we interviewed the what I like to. You'd appreciate this, Eric. The talented Daisy, Chelsea Daisy, your niece, who is a singer and a theater performer. Had a couple of virtual plays with the Castle Craig Players up in Meriden. So we had Chelsea on.
actually, it was funny about that, Ed, is I didn't know it until after the fact when I told you my niece Chelsea, and you actually knew her before you actually met her for the show.
I had actually seen a play. I saw a play of hers up at Castle Craig, the Wonder Girls. Yeah, and she was marvelous. Marvelous. I never thought I'd use the word talented and Daisy in the same sentence, but I did since I met Chelsea.
That's, weirder things have happened in 2020. So
I thought she was going to be with us tonight, Ed. I don't know what happened to her because she said she was going to join us.
well, she probably knew it was your show. She's like trying to,
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure
right.
we'll see her in 2021.
But I do want to congratulate my brother Charlie. He just became a grandfather.
Oh, nice.
His
Congratulations, Charlie.
his daughter Colleen had a baby girl, Reagan Rose.
I love that name.
So
Reagan Rose.
yes, it's pretty nice.
that makes you the great ugly. I mean, Unky.
And what did I buy her for the baby? 2 Yankee outfits. Because Colleen is a Red Sox fan, but her husband is a Yankee fan, so
Very good. Very good.
I don't think Charlie appreciated that too much, but hey, we're going on 2 hours.
This feels like a Joe Rogan podcast. So it's a
Well,
marathon.
I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening. Eric, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. I'm always willing to do it.
And I will forward your information to John Seville.
Yeah, and I'll Facebook you two guys that the WPAA van footage.
That'll be fun. I look forward to that.
It's pretty stupid, but
Ed, always a pleasure. I'm sure
Thank
Maureen's
you.
happy that I got you out of her hair for 2 hours.
She's more than happy, I think, here. She's just yelling down, why don't you make it 3 hours?
Dottie and Geraldine, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Oh, look wonderful.
nice
Congratulations.
to meet you, ladies.
Congratulations.
Sorry that you have to live next door to
Thank
him.
you. Yeah, I don't bother him that much.
You know, when I worked at the TV station, I already had a long day because I was going to Southern and I was taking classes all day, and then I would go to the TV station to work at night, and every day there was Tom waiting by the door.
Oh,
It was like the postal service, neither rain or snow or sleet or whatever.
But you forget,
Volcano.
Eric, who used to bring you your coffee on Saturday mornings?
Ah.
This is true.
faithful Tom.
This is true. Where did you get that coffee from?
The bakery next door.
That's the one thing I do miss about Wallingford. There was so much great food to eat. I wouldn't say the pizza next door was that great, but everything else was really good.
Yeah, a lot of good places to dine in town.
Yeah,
Mm.
a lot of good food.
Mm.
And then El Mariachi's, that was like home base.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
And that's still
people.
going strong.
Nice people over there.
Yep. And then when I come back next time, we'll do it again. We'll do a little reunion over there, hang out.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yep.
I'm
But
in.
again, I want to thank everybody for joining me, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
Tom.
Bye,
Bye.
Tom. Night.
Sure.
Bye.